Greetings everyone and welcome to another Brothers War draft, and finally I get to start with a very nice, well, I don't know finally, but I think there were a few drafts where I didn't get to pick a strong rare, even though this format has quite a few of a strong rares. However, Skitter Beam Battalion doesn't contribute to my set completion because I have a full playset of them, but of course that's an insanely good card. You want to be red with this card unless you really can be sure of being able to get to 9 mana with Power Stones and shots. But of course, at 5 mana, getting 6 power of Trample and Haste is gonna be very good. And sometimes you have the 9 mana option, and then it's of course crazy good as well. So that's an easy pick here. I'm not passing anything. I'm not passing anything that amazing red. There's like a Juggernaut, Race to the Ground. Not really signals. Statue is good. Boulder Branch is fine, but not maybe that great that I'm happy to first pick it. But I think it was there. It's gonna maybe go quite soon from that pack. There was also a Loran Disciple of History. I could now pick one, to get this Skitterbeam Battalion back. Other options are to take the Argothian Sprite here. And I think, well, the Metamorph is also very good with the Skitter Beam because you can copy it. Wait a minute, no. Yes, I can copy it, of course, and I will be casting the Metamorph, so this will trigger. Of course, this you don't get the tokens if you, for example, reanimate this thing. Anyway, I could take the Sprite, the Loran, or the Hulking Metamorph. None of them is red, so I'm gonna pick another color card regardless. I do like the 2-drop though. I'm kind of... this is a 4-drop, this is a 4-drop. I take a good 2-drop. That's the tiebreaker here. Each of these can be good, and this is also consistently good. This doesn't require anything else from your deck. It's just a good 2-drop. Alright, no red here. Sadly, I have this double red mythic rare, so I would want to have red as one of my colors. Then again, this pack is, as you can see, this is a weak pack. And what is even the best card here? This is a very weak pack. I suppose when I took the Sprite, I might take the Audacity here. And then there's like a Giga Mole here. I'm not taking a third pick Supply Drop. I could be like a red-green aggressive deck. The Audacity does some good work in such a deck, so let's try it. It's also an archetype I don't often get to draft. It's not easy to draft, that's the reason. It has to be very open, of course. Alright, so now... okay, well, there is a recommission, there is a prison sentence, there's also a decent blue card. Then there is the Mithras Juggernaut, and there's a Pendragon Strongbull. I don't know if that's gonna be the pick here, because you want to have a bunch of artifacts for this thing, and yeah, it's not that hard to end up with them, but it still can be a bit underwhelming if you don't have the good support for it. I think if I took a red card here, it would be just the Juggernaut, which I'm quite happy about. I could have this trampled theme. I think my previous deck, no, was it my previous deck? Anyway, might have been. Yeah, it was the red white, which had bunch of trample. Okay, because of the battalion, I'm taking the Juggernaut. I'm willing to take a little bit underwhelming red cards just to make sure I can play red for this double caster here. But of course, I will have to deviate from it if I don't get anything, like at all, anything that is red. So here I should maybe realize that blue might be a little bit open. Well, maybe not. But the commando, I think, is quite decent here. There's also white. Yeah, white is open too. For example, in the previous pack, there were some decent white options. Green, I don't... Yeah, I have no big reason to be green here. These two cards are good, but I mean, the Sprite is good, Odyssey isn't even good in all kinds of decks. So I don't have to stick to green. I think the question is mainly that am I going to take the Fracture, the Warlord's Elite, or the Wing Commando? I guess it could be like any of those. I take the Wing Commando still. I kind of like the evasive creature most here. And now I have a Weak Stone's Subjugation here. And no one left behind. If you like I said, if you reanimate this, because this requires casting the card, it won't combine with the skitter beam that well. You will get the 4/4 trample haste, of course. It's not bad, but you don't get the tokens if you reanimate it. But anyway, I'm not taking a black card here. It's gonna be the subjugation, or maybe like the infantry, or maybe the blast runner. I don't think I have a much sacrifice stuff. I'm gonna take the subjugation. I took the blue card, so maybe I can be blue-red. Well, maybe I could, but then I'm seeing this Algothian opportunist here, which kind of puts me back to green here. There's a machine of matter, which is always fine. There's some black. Actually, there are 3 decent black cards. All of these are, playable. But I didn't take the Power Stone Fracture there. I think I have to take the Opportunist. I believe it's also the best card in the pack. Not counting any kind of synergies you might have, because of course each of these has potential to be better in some certain kind of decks, but I'll take the Opportunist. It's also a way to ramp to the Skitter Beam and the Juggernaut here. And now I get another Algothian Sprite, so maybe green is open, but there were a few packs where not much green was opened. Alright, I'm actually happy to have this now. I'm pretty surely gonna be green now. Okay, this is the kind of deck where I actually do like the Juggernaut more than the Boulder Branch Golem. So I try to be an aggressive red-green deck, and I care about the trample aggression more than the life gain from this guy. Not to mention the Goliath, which I would still take the Golem over the Goliath for sure. Alright, that's now good enough. I'm most likely going to be red-green, cut the blue here, and then with all my tramplers already, I'm going to take the supply drop. I actually want to have multiple tricks for this deck to really push through with all these tramplers. Alright. Not like the pack has a lot of good cards. There was the 3-drop, but it's pretty weak. Now, would this be a deck that is gonna play the dig side? I don't think, because I have the double red here, for instance. I want to have my lands to at least produce colored mana. Yeah, I'm taking the uncommon for a world value. Okay, that's a nice sideboard card. Also, there's a Recommission and the Hickstone Subjugation, which are both actually quite decent pickups for their colors. Well, I'm passing them, and hopefully the people to my left will be in those colors then. Yeah, let's take the uncommon again, uncommon again. Alright, I think I like how the pack one went when I got the Opportunist and the Sprite in the end. I think that was pretty decent. I might even play the Tinkering here, but let's see. Alright, well, this is an easy pick, of course. Oh, I mean, it's not going to be the Obliterating Bolt, but it's gonna be the Precursor Golem, of course. Also works very well with my tricks that, well, it doesn't work with the supply drop or the Audacity, of course, but it will work with the Tinkering if I end up playing it. But I'm quite likely to pick up something like a Giant Growth too. So easy second pick would be the Bolt here. I'm of course sad about passing it, but this is just a crazy good bomb. And now I want to have more Power Stone token generating, but there's not that many options. I mean, unless I get just past more of these Opportunists and Excavation Explosions, because this is yet another 5-drop. Now I have 4 5-drops if I plan to play both of the Juggernauts, and I kind of want to. Okay, well, there. I mean, that's just an amazing pick. Sometimes you might even consider taking the Mask here over the Explosion, but not now. I definitely want to have Power Stones at 3 to play these things on turn 4, potentially. Yeah, I passed the Obliterating Bolt and I immediately get an Excavation Explosion. This is really good now. Okay, the draft seems to be going very well now. I hopefully get some good cheap cards. Of course, I don't really want to get anything that's expensive, but if I get some insanely strong cards, I will pick them, of course, even if they are expensive. But now, of course, I just want to have a good curve out potential and then a very nice amount of finishers here, or maybe not finishers, but some big impact creatures after the early game. Now here I could take I think I could even consider the rivalry here, because it does also create a Power Stone token. So if I'm lacking the 5th land, I can play this on turn 4 just to deal a little bit of extra damage. But I think the peak is gonna still be the Whirling Strike. Over the supply drop, this is cheaper. Chromatic Star wouldn't be bad. This wouldn't be bad if I would, maybe get something white I want to splash, but I think the Whirling Strike is the pick here, and here it's, well, it could be the Clear Cutter, but I believe now I do want to have the Stalwart, another way to accelerate into these things. Now this of course does accelerate into these things, but I'm not actually in this kind of a deck. I don't care about the 3 mana 1/3. I'd rather have a 1 mana 1/1. So let's do it. How many creatures? That's 8 creatures and 5 non-creatures. Okay. I get another Argothian Sprite, which I definitely will take over a third Juggernaut here. I wouldn't mind if all my 2-drops are sprites. Yep, very nice pickup here. And I have a Pyrrhic Blast. Alright, there's also a Shoot Down, Unleash Shell. I don't think I'm gonna take the 5 mana removal because I have here other 5-drops already filling my curve. There is a 2-drop which I don't necessarily need that badly at this stage in the draft. It's only pack 2, pick 6, halfway into draft around, so I will find some low quality 2-drops such as this one later on. The question is it going to be like a sideboard shoot down or a Pyrrhic Blast, which can actually work quite nicely with stuff like Juggernaut, so I'm going to take the Blast now. Also I can sacrifice the Golem, the actual creature card here, well, a creature when it's on the battlefield, so that my other Golems don't get killed when the opponent has targeted a removal. Here it's just going to be a Perimeter Patrol, maybe. Yeah, I can take the 3 mana 3/3. I still think I can avoid picking these 2 mana 3/1s. This is also a bit aggressive, and it gets a few, pumps from some of my cards. I have artifacts and I have Power Stone token generation. Both of them, of course, do trigger the +1/+0 here. Now, I could maybe take the Scrapsmith because I have some nice things to mill or actually to draw into, but I think it's just still a pretty bad card, so now I'm gonna take the 2-drop because I still need them. Houston Fracture, I'm not playing 2 of these things, I'm playing at max 1. Maybe the Bliss Automaton, let's take it. Let's keep the aggressive plan, and here, yeah, even though I wouldn't mind having the Power Stones, I think the Stone Retrieval unit doesn't quite cut it, so I'm gonna take the other Honor Guard now, Honor Guard, so I have enough now, 2-drops. Well, maybe not, I wouldn't mind having 2 more, but I'll already start having a satisfactory amount of them. Alright, Supply Drop, why not? And here I can also take the Rock Hunter. So basically all the 3 ones I passed, I got back on the second when the packs came back to me. Yep, okay. And sure, I don't think I'm gonna play this guy, but I can pick it at least now. And Pyrrhic Blast, not necessarily a fan of running multiples of those. Well, there's a Scrapwork Mat. I was actually a bit worried. I didn't see anything that's that interesting. I was considering taking the Chromatic Star, or maybe actually the Wings wouldn't be bad here, but of course the Mat is absolutely fantastic, so let's take that. Okay, Mistra's Research Desk must. There are a few cards I would pick it. I mean, few non-rares, for example, Excavation Explosion, and in this deck I might even take the Opportunist over it. But now that the only option here is basically the Whirling Strike, it's very easy to take this very, very strong uncommon. Bushwhack, I like it. There's a Perimeter Patrol. I might take an Opportunist over a Bushwhack, but I'm not gonna take the Patrol over the Bushwhack. It's a land and removal. And this also could be played in place of the 17th land. I still don't care about the Clear Cutter that much. I have also passed a couple of these remorses, but someone who's drafting black will be happy about that. My deck is already quite good. So options. Forge Chanter. I don't actually know if I care about it. I don't know if I care about having a third Juggernaut in addition to all my other 5-drops either. I don't have 4-drops creatures at all, but I still don't think the Recluse is what I want here. I won't have enough mountains for this thing to reliably do anything. I could just take the Lantern, I suppose. Creature count is 16. I have pretty mediocre 2-drops. I don't really know actually. I take the lantern. It might even be cut here, but I don't really feel like anything was particularly interesting there. Now this is gonna be played over some of the, like the honor guard here. Steel Seeker is good too, and I have a bunch of triggers for it, but I take the more aggressive cards for this deck now. I actually wouldn't mind having a giant growth, but it doesn't seem like I'm getting one. Alright, so patrol number 2. I don't really want to play the Mishra anyway, so I guess I can take the patrol. I don't actually have a lot of red here, but because of the double red Skitter Beam Battalion, I'm gonna have to play a fairly large amount of mana sources for red anyway. But I mean, I'll take the patrol here. Okay, Juggernaut. Sure. I still don't think I'm playing multiple of those Tinkering, so let's take the Juggernaut now. Maybe I will not play 3 of them in the main deck, but I have an option to sideboard into them if matchup seems the kind of matchup where it's actually gonna be making sense. Alright. I could take even the Talisman, but I think the Stalwart is still the one I want here. Yeah, Stalwart is good. Okay, so another option for a Pyrrhic Blast, but I think it's going to be the Wings now. Yep. I have a lot of cuts to make, but I think the Wings might make the main deck here. The Razor Maw isn't interesting. I just take an uncommon here. Another Patrol, Chain Dancer. Do I want to play one of these? I have some, ways to pump my guys. I might actually do it, also for curve reasons. I don't need a third one of these Patrols. I might play this because just to have a 4-drop creature available. Bitter Reunion or a Forge Chanter. I don't really need a 2-drop. Is this better than some of the other options? I don't think I ever have room for the Bitter Reunion though, so let's take the Forge Chanter. Oh, and I got the Steel Seeker here. I think I will be Blade. And okay, let's keep the option open for 2 Tinkerings, because I actually didn't get any giant growths, and I have only 1 Whirling Strike. I do have 2 supply drops though, so I think that's enough combat tricks. But yep, it's possible I sideboard into 2 of those Tinkerings. Okay, so this is the mana curve here right now with 35 cards. Well, I'm definitely playing only 16 lands. Even if I cut something like the Soul Guide Lantern, I have a Bushwhack and 2 Stalwarts. These are mana sources. This is making it easy for me to dig into lands. Now I can cut all the unexciting 2-drops here, because I think I got more of those. So not the Honor Guards, not the Rock Hunter. 1, 2... Yeah, I guess I can even cut the Forge Chanter here, and then the Excavation Prodigy can go away right away. And one of the Tinkerings. Now this is 28 out of 40. I think I'm gonna, from the main deck, cut one of the Juggernauts. And now this means I still want to make a few cuts here. So this is now 6 2-drops. How many artifacts did it? Okay, that is still 10 of them. So I will get some use out of the Steel Seeker. Also, it makes it easier to not get stuck at 4 lands when I have these things in my hand. Because I have, well, then again, 4 of my artifacts are actually those 5-drops. That won't help in that situation, but I still have the Explosion and the Opportunist, which both are also, trigger this guy. So this, even if I don't get to draw 3 lands with this thing, I can, mill non-lands away from the top of my deck if I really need to draw some lands for this high impact 5-drops I have going on. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what will be my final cuts in here. I guess 1 Perimeter Patrol. I'm actually thinking between the Patrol and the Blitz Automaton here. It feels yeah, the Automaton does trigger the Steel Seeker here. That's the good thing about it. I'm having a little bit of second thoughts about this Steel Seeker, because it's a 2-mana 1/2, and this is going to push damage more than anything else. So if I would cut it, I would want to replace it with another 2-drop, and I think it might be the Honor Guard. Because I like the Ward 2 more than Reach for this deck, at least in the main deck. I can of course switch it around when sideboarding comes. Because I'm actually thinking that if I cut the automaton, that's one, fewer trigger for this thing. Then I can cut the Steel Seeker and actually put the Honor Guard, one of them, here to keep myself at 6 2-drop, which is like, I think, the kind of a sweet spot which you usually want to have in most of your decks, in most of the normal draft formats. And then I think I might be able to actually cut one of the stalwarts here. I still have a stalwart and a bushwhack and the research desk to help me get some early game mana. And the scrapwork mat is another way to have an extra, draw. You see an extra card to play as a land if you need them. Now this is 25 still. I don't even have an Evolving Wilds. I have a lot of green cards compared to red, but the Skitter Beam is a double caster. But then again, I actually don't have anything that I play early that requires red. I think I still play the Chain Dancer. It is quite decent with something like a supply drop. At 5 mana, I can make it into a 4 power thing, and then, double strike means it's 8. It's very decent with Audacity. I mean, it's actually fantastic with Audacity. 4 power trampling double striker, also with Whirling Strike. And also, if I get to cast my Taunos' Tinkering, it will be a 4/6 that I can make into a double striker. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Chain Dancer. Alright, so I will cut one card. I don't think I have the guts to play 15 lands in a deck that has actually 4 5-drops. And even if I have these other ways to, help cast my 5-drops. But this is gonna mean that I cut one more card. This is 15 creatures, so I guess I could cut like one. I kind of want to play the supply drops here. Still, I want to play the Pyrrhic Blasts because they also can combine with my stuff like Audacity quite nicely, and of course the Juggernauts for sure. And it's not like I have that much removal here. I might need it just for the removal part. I have a Bushwhack and I have an Excavation Explosion. That's it. Of course the combat tricks are like a semi-removal in the sense that I can attack into opposing blockers and then basically remove them with my combat tricks, but it's of course not so great unless my attacker trambles. But yeah, it's gonna mean that I'm gonna have one more card. Yeah. I like the wings in the main deck, especially in a red-green deck, which doesn't have any flyers usually. Yeah, so this Tinkering is a little cute maybe, but I suppose I want to try it. It's also pretty fantastic if I get to resolve on a Precursor Golem. Right. I mean, I think it has to be the supply drop. As much as I like it, I'm not playing 15 lands in this deck. Alright, supply drop it is. Right, well, this is it. Plus I need... I mean, I could play 8/8, but I think I'm going to play 9 Forest 7 mountains, especially because the Bushwhack requires a green mana and it can get me the red mana too. So definitely I don't need to have an even mix of mountains and forests. Given, I can basically curve out without mountains. Of course, sometimes you want to have this on turn 3, but it's still gonna be good on later turns. Yep. So I will still play 9/7 because I have the double caster here with only 6 mountains and the 1 bushwhack and the stalwart. Yeah, I guess you could play 10/6. But since I don't need green, double green for any, well, I might need it for double casting green spells because I have a cheap green spells on turn 4. For instance, I could easily have need for 2 forest mana. So sorry, 2 green mana, aka forests in this case. But I think it's still going to be 9-7 or 10-6. It's actually tough. I always need a forest in my starting hand. I can't really keep a hand without a forest. The stalwart sometimes gets removed, but sometimes not. This is not like the most reliable source of mana, because it can die. But this thing digs pretty deep, although it doesn't dig that deep without a single red mana, but I guess my concern is more like if I play 10-6, I'm not worried about getting one mountain. I'm worried about maybe not having 2 red mana when I have this as a castable spell, but it's only 1 card in the deck though. Okay, I'm gonna play 10-6. I think it is the reasonable choice. Let's take the Godzilla lands this time. Yeah, because the Audacity is gonna be my 7th mountain, and you can have a 5-drop double caster, you know, with basically 7 mana sources, and be able to cast it at some point. Alright, well, this is the main deck. I think I was a little bit unlucky in the draft because green was very open, but I didn't get any giant growth, which are usually very late picks. And maybe people just didn't open a lot of giant growths. Alright, well, this is easy keep because I have only 1 land, but I have a bushwhack and also the research desk. This is a 100% land, and this might get me to another land. So I have now the double red card here. So I'm just gonna immediately get my mountain here. I will thin my deck, but because there's an actual possibility for playing this on turn 4 now because of the excavation explosion. Let's see if I get my second red for that though. I'm not sure if I wanna break the desk yet. I think I'll just rather play this right now, because if I activate this, I have no option to play the explosion unless I, it hit my specifically a land. I have also stuff like Precursor Golem. I don't want to, permanently exile with these things. I prefer to play it later on. Okay, now they didn't play a target for the excavation explosion, but also I have a Citadel Stalwart here. Let's see if they wanna get rid of it. Now I can do this thing here. I could equip the Stalwart, but it's gonna, if it survives, it's gonna be tapped for mana for a couple of turns anyway. I might, well, it depends on what the opponent is gonna do now. Okay, just a curate. By the way, I didn't see what they milled. Thopter Mechanic, that's a fantastic 2-drop. I'm happy they milled it, although they might have an emergency world to bring it back. But yeah, let's see what the opponent does, because I'm not sure I'm gonna research this. Oh, actually I don't have any castables for the next turn. I have only 4 mana unless I draw a land, so yep. Especially if the Stalwart survives, I'm just gonna crack the research desk. I can always tap the wings for the mana that the Citadel Stalwart produces. But let's get full information about the replace before I commit to choosing the card from this research desk. For example, if they tap out and I have a land here, I might just, go for the battalion there. They did tap out, unless they have a land drop. Yeah, they can. I guess they have a land drop still left, but it's not like they can do that much with 1 land. They discarded a scatter ray. Okay, they had a counter spell. Interesting. Okay, well they didn't have a land drop. Now was this? I think this was their turn 4, but yeah, anyway. Let's see what this is gonna bring me. Only 1 of these 2-drops. Wow. I mean, I could make a Ward 2 flyer that has 5 power. When they are stuck with some amount, well, they did get a Power Stone. It's not impossible to cast to pay for the ward, but that's gonna, even if they have like a disfigure, it's gonna take a lot of their mana. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna pump the sprite anytime soon, so I'm gonna make this guy into the flyer. Now I could actually ignore this and play this battalion, but I don't think I'm gonna do it now. I'll just actually I'm gonna do it like this. So when Odyssey is put into a graveyard, I'm gonna actually also put the Audacity on it. That's a good turn. Now I have a 6 power flying trample guy. Unless they have a... Yeah, they could have, of course, the... Okay, Disfigure is fine, because now Audacity will go to my graveyard, and I get to draw a card from it, and they also had to paid for the ward cost in there. Now I'm gonna get my battalion. I don't think I'm gonna wait until... Wait a minute. Until 9 mana, I was saying. I think the battalion might be better later on. No, I mean, of course, I just drew this, but now that I drew, this is gonna be the better card to play. Because they actually have a blocker for one of the 2/2s. So let's make this happen instead. I get to crack for some damage too. They are still stuck at 3 lands actually. So yeah, they milled 2 lands with the Archaeologist and then failed to really draw a land. Even they even cast this turn less on there. And a Curate too. Wow. Now they milled 2 more lands. Okay, well I can actually attack with the Juggernaut into that board. 6. I'm actually at 7 mana now because Talvaret is 1. Wow. I mean, I could maybe... I don't think it's making a lot of sense. I'm gonna play this as a 5-drop. I am. Because I could wait until I get 2 more mana, but... No. And I'm gonna not equip the wings because I'm gonna use the Whirling Strike here. They're gonna maybe double block one of those 2/2s, for example. I can use the Whirling Strike because I have the mountain and then I can tap the wings with the Stalwart for the 2nd mana. Or they might block 2 of these 2/2s. And then I can still kill one of the Archaeologists. Yep, that's what I thought they might be doing. Nope. I hope they don't have another Disfigure. But I mean, I'm gonna do this regardless. I'm gonna target the token. Okay, so now they are taking, what, 7 damage here, and I have the Ironheart's wings here. I have more gas with the research desk, and they're still stuck at that 3 lands. That is very unfortunate for them. And now I have the Chain Dancer here too. Oh boy. I mean, this is just game over for them because they just didn't get any lands. Of course, I had a very strong game here myself, but they were just stuck at such a low land count that they are not gonna be able to do anything. The Wings does good job of being a mana source thanks to Stalwart requiring something to tap. Alright, there's no mass removal that they can play here. Because there is, imagine if they were now at 4 lands and dropped their 5th land, they could have a Gix's command, and I have to lose all my 2 power creatures and 1 power creatures. Then this would be sacrificed. But even then, I could unearth this guy for the 5 remaining damage. Okay, so let's see. They are Grixis, so they have some red in the deck. They have these defensive 2-drops. There's an Archaeologist, 2 of them. They have a Thopter Mechanic, and then they have the 1/3, but this is a 3-drop. So they have a Disfigure, Scatter Ray, Coilous Rock, stuff to keep in mind. So the question is, do I want to... Yeah, the two drops are not artifacts, you know, the 1/4s, or even 0/3s. So they can block the sprite quite nicely. The Honor Guard is really bad against the 1/4s, so I'm gonna cut the Honor Guard, and I think I will now put the 2nd supply drop in the deck. I don't think anything with 1 toughness is really bad against the Fallagy Archaeologist. So this is, I guess, it. Anything for the might? I didn't see even any milled, you know, the Weakstone's subjugation thing. No. Well, let's try this. Well, I'm not going to mulligan a hand that has a turn 4 precursor golem. This can get me the mountain. Ideally, I actually just draw naturally a mountain because I don't want to. Am I gonna wait for one more turn? I'm gonna wait for one more turn because I don't actually need a land here. So I'd rather use this as a fight spell. But if I now don't get a mountain, I'm gonna fetch one. And also, this might not be a turn 4 play in case. Okay, not that land. This is even more awkward now to get a mountain with it, but I guess I have to do it. But it's possible they won't have a target for excavation explosion. Well, in that case, I guess I'll play this on turn 5. So they took a stern lesson. Again, they milled the mechanic. Well, there's a target for the explosion. Wow, how many forests can I draw here? Okay, now a lot. I saw, for example, the counter spell from them, so I don't want to really play this into a counter spell. Scatter Ray, what is the name of the card? But if they want to play the stern lesson this turn, and they still drew a forest. Wait a minute. How many forests have I drawn here? I mean, I haven't had that many draw steps, 4 only. Because one card I fetched with my spell. I think I have drawn 3 forests here in 4 draw steps. So now that the only option is to do nothing or play the golem, I hope that they are keeping mana up for the stern lesson and they don't have the counter spell. But let's go. There's not really much point in not playing anything here. So yeah, I could really get flooded out here. Okay, now it's still possible they have a kill spell that will of course target all of these guys. So let's hope that's not going to be the case. The disfigure doesn't help. Well, it does make them all in the 1/1s, but it alone won't. Ooh, portal to Phyrexia. That's something to keep in mind if it goes to game 3. I might put the might, but then again I might just try to win before they get to 9 mana. They might also have a way to... No, there's no way to reanimate an artifact. It needs a white mana. Okay, Juggernaut is at least very decent, and let's see now. They could have a Coilous Rock, I don't care if they do. Or it could be just a, overwhelming remorse here. To kill every guy here. And then I can play the Juggernaut. What has come out? -2, -0, create a... Okay, more... They want to have Power Stones. I am scared. They didn't draw a card, they didn't make a creature. What does that mean? Usually you want to actually at least make a creature or draw a card, if not both. But they wanted just to save some damage, prevent some damage, I mean, and then make a Power Stone. Do they have a way to get the portal to Phyrexia online? Because they might have an emergency weld to return it. That doesn't do it. They are now at 8 mana, counting also the Power Stone. So if they haven't... Yeah, they do. That's their game plan. Now I understand why they got a Power Stone there. I will have to sacrifice three of these guys. Whoopsie. Well, I guess I can still deal some damage in the air here. Of course, I will sacrifice the golems. But then they will get the golem. Yeah, can I win here? I don't know. No, actually I have to... No, I can save the... Yeah, the Latinum Adept is gonna block one of the... Yeah, of course, because if I lose one golem here, I have to sacrifice also the Juggernaut. But I'm gonna save it with the supply drop, so I just sack these golems, and I guess I hope that... the Ironheart's Wings is gonna be enough here now. They will take 6 damage now, by the way, in the air, because they're gonna tap out for the portal now. Now how about if I don't... Let's make... I mean, I could also sack this thing to and then unearth it, but it's not enough damage. That is the problem. They can... Okay, and nothing here actually allows them to deal with my flyer. But if I do sacrifice the tokens and then the Juggernaut will... Yeah, I could deal a lot of damage still. Is that the better one actually? after all. Then I get to... Okay, I think that is the better one. I don't have any castables, so I might have... Well, I guess I have the supply drop activation, but I still just keep drawing land, so... This is gonna deal them a lot of damage now. So they're gonna be at 3 now, and they can, of course, return now. Something from my... Well, I have nothing, so they can get some of their creatures. I guess it's gonna be the archaeologist finding an answer for the golem here. Okay, this will jump if they get to sack it. They will get the 1/1 there. Oh, they have a flyer. Oh man. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Well, now I need to draw something other than forests here. That's enough forests. That's 8 of my 10 forests in top 25. Sorry, top 15 cards. So half my draws have been forests. Ah, they have more ways. I think I have a... Wow. I'm in trouble now. I don't think I have 3 damage to the head. Okay, that's a lot of land. Well, I'm gonna do this, and on the next, and well, I get to get something from here, and then I can cast it on the next turn. But I don't have another excavation explosion, but I have a perfect blast. This does mean I have to draw a creature card, but this is gonna win. I will have enough mana to cast most of my creatures. It's not like the Whirling Strike does anything, so this is just an... Yeah, if I draw one of my creatures, I have a lot of mana here. And they are top decking. They need to find I can counterspell actual Urza's rebuff. Okay, 8, 9, I have 10 mana, so I can cast even a 6-drop. So I can cast all my creatures. As long as it deals... I can also equip a 2-drop that has 2 power with an aeronaut's wings. Okay, a creature and I win. Except if it's the Stalwart. Okay, Stalwart doesn't make me win. Oh, but I have a supply drop. Yes, even Stalwart will be a win. Okay, come on. Yes. So now they can have, of course, interaction. They can have interaction here, but... I mean, if they have interaction, I can actually... No, I don't have quite the mana for it. Oh, man. Okay, well, now it's... Yeah, because if I had 1 more mana, I could have actually responded with a supply drop and then do the Pyrrhic Blast. Urza's rebuff. No, none of that. Alright, well, what a game. They got a portal going on, but my... And they had the flying blocker for my guys equipped with this thing. I have had a pretty massive flood here too, but thanks to the research desk being able to dig 4 cards deep, I found one of the very few cards that actually allows me to win. I guess a Skitterbeam Battalion might have been good enough too. Anyway, let's go to the next match. No early drops, but I guess Mr. Research Desk can find me either a 2 or 3 drop here. I'll keep it because it's a good balance of lands and spells. Anyway, opponent also did mulligan to 6. Okay, that's gonna be good with the Juggernaut. It does require 10 mana to unearth and use it though, but maybe in a very late game. Okay, then... well, that thing will be my next turn play. So unless I want to dig for a land... I don't know if I want to do that. I also have those very good 5 mana bombs. I might have to not just use the research desk yet. Yeah, I'll just play the patrol now. I mean, if I knew the one of my top 2 cards was a land, I would go for the land drop here. Because I don't want to miss them, but I can still get the land from turn 4. once I have played a patrol here. Okay, this could be bad if they remove the patrol. They have 5 powder now. So if they now deal with the patrol, I'm gonna actually start taking a lot of damage. Now I can animate anything with this thing. It will be a 2/2 always. Well, artifact, creature, or land. Not enchantments or planeswalkers. Okay, they are not killing the patrol. They are not attacking with both, which means they don't have a whirling strike. I'm going to not block here, because I might be able to get them with the tinkering. Thran spider, huh? Okay, well. Thanks for the land, I guess. Well, a power stone, but now I can, you know, make this guy into a 4/3 attack into the spider and start the aggression. I have, of course, a lot of things that help me push through here, and they have only... Okay, they actually are willing to trade with the spider here. I don't mind that at all. Both of us got a power stone, and definitely I benefit from having access to it. Now let's see if they still have an attack with the infiltrator. No things to sacrifice. Okay. They could have sacked the power stone to actually grow the infiltrator into a 3/2, but they chose not to. They just need the mana from it. Okay. They still have 2 cards. I might want to actually discard the forest to the mutt. So let's see. If I don't play the land, I won't have both the tinkering and the whirling strike up, or Pyrrhic Blast and the whirling strike up. Is it enough to have only one of them up? If I play the land, it's awkward post-combat when the mutt could actually discard the land that might not be that needed. Let's see what they do. I do see that they have a trick of some kind. So maybe I'm not supposed to. I'm also taking a lot of damage. They can just take the 5 here. Look at this life total here. Wow. They are gonna use the trick into my open mana. Supply drop. Huh. That's actually quite funny, because now I can use the tinkering here. And it will be able to block. Haha, gotcha. I believe I'm going to only crack the desk now. I will crack it now, because if they're like 2 lands, I still want to make my land drop. That was not 2 lands. I'm taking the Chain Dancer for the next turn. It also maybe means that I should... No, I can play the land on the next turn still. But they can sack the supply drop, make the infiltrator into a 3/2, but that doesn't actually matter, because these counters are permanent indeed. They can still kill the Juggernaut now and deal a lot of damage to me, so I'm not out of the woods, but of course I have a 7 power creature that has Trample. They add 17, I have a Pyrrhic Blast. I can actually... If I drew a mountain, I think I have a winning attack if they don't block at all. Because I can play both the Whirling Strike and the Pyrrhic Blast. I didn't draw a mountain though. I'm gonna play this now. Yeah, I can't cast both of these red spells. I maybe should have played the Mutt first before dropping my land, because that could have actually drawn me a mountain, but I guess that would have taken 2 of my mana, and then I wouldn't have been able to use 2 of these spells anyway. Okay, so I didn't see that they would have a... I mean, it seems like they don't have priority. Plus, what can they do with two black mana? Go for the Throat doesn't work. It's non-artifact. And Disfigure doesn't work. So this is actually just insane. My Trample and Tricks game doing some serious work. This does mean I can't play the Chain Dancer, but hey, it is worth it. It is worth it, because I just got a 2-for-1 and they are now totally losing to the stuff I have here. Because I can just attack with the Juggernaut and then blow it to their face. So black-red sack. Yeah, I don't mind them having the Thrawn Spider because I do want to have as many Power Stones as possible given my deck, which has a lot of expensive artifacts. Also, my deck has 4 these guys, and these, you know, care about having 7 mana. Alright, so I think this is victory regardless. Yeah, I mean they're tapped out. I will show the Pyrrhic Blast. I was trying to see if there's a way for me to not show them this card to them, because it's kind of valuable information. Okay, actually I don't have to show because they chose to make it like that. So now if I before damage, if I blow this, yeah, this it's only 10, so they would survive. So now I'm gonna just rely on them. But no, I guess I can. No, I can't do the math here. So the next turn I will. Might as well do this. Next turn I will of course unearth this guy. Let's see what this shows to me. Okay, I guess Excavation Explosion is pretty darn good too. It's so nice that you have until the end of your next turn to play these cards. Okay, if that's the best thing they can do, use 4 of their mana to draw more cards, that's not going to be great for them. Okay, they actually kill all my guys. So Juggernaut. 1 red mana isn't gonna kill this. This means I won't be able to cast the explosion, but this is 1 red mana isn't gonna kill this. But they had a Brotherhood, and that's very good information. I don't think they were supposed to show it, because in best of 3 it actually matters. For example, now I'm happy I didn't show them the Pyrrhic Blast, because I wouldn't have won. I would have showed it if it was a win. But now they knew that when I unearth this Juggernaut, they will lose anyway. And now I know they have this thing in their deck. Now it's possible they actually choose to, you know, sideboard it out. It's also something that kills most of their creatures, but I guess it also deals with artifacts. But anyway, now at least I can play around it if there's such a situation that it makes sense. Usually you don't play around rare mass removal effects. Now, do I need another Juggernaut? They can have an... I was actually a bit scared that they only need like 1 removal spell, which they didn't have, to really push some damage through. But since I was able to block their creatures and had my, you know, pretty nice trick with the Tinkering, I was able to easily stabilize there. Anything in here that's bad? No, I need to have my good mana curve still. Yeah, I think that 2 Juggernauts are enough, and I don't really want to play more creatures that die to the 3 damage spell to everyone. But there's not like... Now all of my creatures die to it, except for the Chain Dancer and well, the full cost battalion. It's actually quite funny. I have nothing that survives it. Although, is that the reason to play a supply drop over the Whirling Strike? I think it might be. I will play that because this at least gives me toughness. It can save my guy from that mass removal. And then I could also play the Forge Chanter over the Honor Guard. Did they have some 1 toughness creatures? No, I'm not sure if I want to do that. I'm not gonna do that. This is fine. Okay, another decent starting hand, as long as I remember that they might have a Brotherhood, and so if they don't play anything that dies to it, or play this thing which keeps coming back, I shouldn't be just blindly playing everything here. And give them like a 3-for-1. This can't be blocked by the Revenant, so I'm gonna play this thing here. So I'm willing to give them a 2-for-1. Okay, well now it's not even that much of a thing that matters. Now do I wanna... Yeah, I'm gonna trade with this Acrobat if they are willing. Okay, they are not even willing to do that. Now I can play the Patrol and Next turn I can use the Tinkering again. Stone retrieval unit still can't be blocked by the sprite. Oh, sorry, the other way around. Am I going to... Nah. I'm not gonna trade because I have the Tinkering here. Now they can double block the patrol. Well, I'm gonna then play the Tinkering. That's how it goes. And if they are... Okay, well now I don't have to worry about it. Man, this Tinkering is doing maybe a little bit more work than it's supposed to do. But now it is also now out of the range from the Brotherhood sense, so it's a good in that sense as well. Research desk will find me more gas. It seems like I might have a little bit of flooding out here, but it's only a little bit. Okay, they milled me. Oh, why would they mill me? I have Juggernaut and all that. That's... I think I have said it so always when our opponents mill me with the vermin, because there's just no point. There's too much graveyard benefiting from the graveyard in this set for it to make any sense. Okay, so how do I do it? I'm going to not mind trading my sprite with the vermin because I have another sprite coming up, and I might as well do this thing. Now they might be thinking that they double block my perimeter patrol to kill it, but in that case if they do that, I won't kill the vermin. I will assign all 5 damage to the acrobat. So this will only take 4 damage and this death trigger won't happen. But I'm gonna go with the mutt right now. Discard a forest. Audacity. Don't think I wanna do it right now. I'm gonna see how they do. Okay, they take a lot of damage. And they, well, can kill the sprite now. So if they play a Brotherhood and they just kill their own guys. They also need a mountain for that. So I believe I'm going to now play the land, play the honor guard. And I will not play the research desk now because it is another trigger for the perimeter patrol. So it might be relevant. I can make this into 8 power trampler. Because this is gonna give it 1. Oh. Hello. Hello indeed. I don't have 5 lands. Sorry, more than 5 lands, so I can't go with the Audacity and the Golem here. Well, I mean, let's go for it. The sad thing about this is that they can just jump lock the patrol. But I suppose if I attack with the honor guard as well, that means they can't freely kill the honor guard here. They have to at least trade or lose the acrobat as well. And of course the problem with this guy is that it enters tapped, so it won't be able to block. So now they have to kill the big thing here or one of the golems. Or I mean, if they target one of the golems, they all go. But I would have still have 8 damage on the next turn. Let's say they kill the golem, and assuming they don't have another, of course they still had a lot of cards in their hand. But if they didn't have anything that blocks this guy, and this thing enters tapped, this is gonna make it into a 6-5, and this is gonna make it into an 8-5, which is enough to deal with their life total. This might be the same opponent because I do recognize this name. This matchmaking took over 1 minute, and it's possible we just both queued up and yeah, I think that's what happened. I'm pretty sure this was the previous round opponent. Well, I know what is in their deck, and I have a decent hand here, especially with the land I immediately drew, so I can go with 2-drop, 3-drop here. I have to remember they have a Brotherhoods and so what to Discard or discard anything. I think the Audacity is now the card. I want to hit my land drops, especially find the second mountain. So I think the Audacity can go now. Okay, they have milling of... they got some value. They can pick up the Rager here. Ah, that's not a bad thing at all. But I have now... Oh, they chose not to pick it up. I guess they don't have fourth land. I mean, they can still unearth it. But I don't think it matters if this is a 2-1 or a 3-2 too much. Regardless, I'm gonna attack here. I'm not gonna even consider it a supply drop because I just wanna play the perimeter patrol. Again, if they have a Brotherhood's End, they can only lose one of their own guys. So it's 2 for 2, totally fine for me. And this thing is actually immune to it. Plus, hey, this thing also with the wings, 6 in the air. Assuming I have mana to activate this double strike, but I don't have to. Okay then. I'm willing to raise here. I think they might just play the Rager here. No, they won't play it because, of course, it's just an unearth. They didn't pick it up. Right, so I think it's just... I kind of want to play the Chain Dancer here, but... Alright, well, here's what we do. I'm gonna let the trade happen here with the Acrobat. I'm gonna save the supply drop for a later turn. This is mana efficient and this is gonna be able to block the Scrapsmith. But of course, if it gets removed, then I'm just waiting for my second mountain, which I did realize it can be an issue at some point because I have only 6 mountains in the deck, plus of course a way to fetch it. Alright, well, they don't have an attack now, so with the supply drop I can attack into that board. Then post combat I will play the Sprite, and I guess I'm actually going to do the research desk, but let's first attack with these guys. I guess I could attack with the Mud, but it's a good blocker on the Scrapsmith, so let's not bother with that. Also on the Infiltrator. Not gonna activate that thing. I'm gonna actually try to find my mountain with this thing. So let's activate this. And there's no mountain. Oh, this is tough. So I can't cast the Golem unless my top card is exactly a land. So I'm gonna take the opportunist. I don't think I need to gamble on it this time. Okay, they have a lot of these fairly small size creatures and only one power of flyer in the air, so I don't mind this at all. So am I gonna trade the Sprite with something here? They can't block it with the Dragon Engine. This of course can be a 2-3 with the mana they have available. So still no land, so if I kept this Golem instead of the Opportunist, that would have been pretty miserable. Now the thing here is that I want to play the Opportunist this turn. So I'm not planning to use the supply drop or anything like that. Which means that I am going to I'm gonna still offer a trade on the Sprite, I guess. I'm not too happy about it, but I'm not gonna be able to pump it anytime soon. I guess with this Power Stone it's possible, but also I'd wanna clear the way a little bit here. So the more I declare of the blockers, the higher impact the battalion will be. That's the idea here. And I think I will have a pretty nice attacker with the Ironheart's wings here. So I have mana to do stuff besides adding 2 counters to this thing. So that's the reason. Okay, now they have actually a little bit of synergy going on with the Thraxer Demon, Clay Revenant, and the Kicks and Infiltrator too. Okay. So it might be time to... I think it's time now to make the Chain Dancer fly. if they block with the engine and pump it twice, it's still not gonna be enough. I don't even need to double strike on it. So they can block and draw a card. Try to find answer for some of this stuff. And I could deal 3 additional damage by activating this, but I'm going to just play the Ono Guard to still have a bunch of blockers myself, so I don't have to try to raise them. The Infiltrator will grow per each use of the Thraxo Demon, but that's fine. I might not even need the Battalion if they don't find an answer for the Chain Dancer. With the supply drop it can actually deal 10 damage just like that. But they are at 11, so it's not a lethal attack on the next turn. But it's not like I have any kind of a rush here. So they can do that, and they can play it, and they can use the remaining 3 mana to actually sack it, but they can't block and sack. So that's a lot of... They get cards, but they don't get, you know, any additional board presence, which is what they need here. Or an answer to the Chain Dancer, which they could have, like a Overwhelming Remorse, or what's the exile spell? Bushwhack. Now, that's gonna get me the mountain, I'm pretty sure of that. They don't have to know about it though. I'll just attack with my guys then. I know I could use it as a fight spell now, but it seems pretty... I mean, it doesn't really accomplish much. This Chain Dancer is immune to the Dragon Engine now, so I can just do this. Next turn I can haste these guys up. Now I'm actually at 6, 7. Even if I draw a land on the next turn, I will have only 8 mana, including the Power Stone. So I think this will be just a 2/2 Tramplers, but that's all fine. These guys trade. And now I could deal 10 damage. That's funny. But I'm gonna deal 6 only. There's no point using the supply drop now when it's not actually lethal. I know I could save my Opportunist here, but I don't feel it's necessary what I want to do. They can just sack the Scrapsmith in that case, they get even value out of it. Although they're gonna sack the Revenant, but if they sack the Revenant, it will be tapped on the next turn as well. Yep, so let's do this. Okay, this thing went through though, that's the important part. So I guess I'm going to just get my... I know I could have killed the Dragon Engine, maybe it was the better play. But I just want to have the option to have the Skitterbeam Battalion there. And I'm actually going to... Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Because I can cast all the spells now. I might draw. Guess there might be a Stalwart, so let's do this. Well, let's take the Sprite. It's a threat with this amount of mana. So now they need to find an answer on the Chain Dancer. Because it will just eat the Dragon Engine if it tries to block it. And if they find an answer for the Chain Dancer, I mean they are at 5, I'm at 17, and the board is pretty clear now. Okay, they can attack and sack it, but that's not going to help them. I think I will have a lethal attack, because they will be tapped out after all is said and done. So even if they don't attack with the Dragon Engine, I can have 8 2-power creatures. They can block one of them. They will take 6 damage on my turn. That's what will happen here. They might have a land. If they have a swamp, that's a potential disfigure for them. Okay, that's a potential disfigure. Still, I'm doing this. And I have the wings mana too. So let's do it like this. No disfigure, it seems. Okay, so I do think this is the same opponent. They play the same colors. They have the same cards. Yeah, they are having a Brotherhood sense. But actually, yeah, A Brotherhood's End isn't actually that great in this kind of deck. It basically kills all their guys. It's only good when you can kind of make the opponent overextend while not playing your own creatures yourself. That's why usually I don't pick that card very high, for instance, and I usually consider it more of a sideboard card. Now, have I learned anything else from the deck? I guess I do the same thing. I replace the Whirling Strike with the Supply Drop just because of potential for other burn-based removal, which I haven't actually seen. You know, red can have burn-based removal against which the Whirling Strike does not help, but the +2/+2 might help. Now they have a sibling rivalry and some sacrificing stuff, but it's not something I don't even have a Gift of Gaia. What's the Gaia's gift? Is that it? So I just have to live with the fact that they might have it. It's actually pretty good on the golem. It's pretty darn good on the golem. I have to be careful about this. Water City. Do I want to play something else now? Okay, I'm just having it like this. Maybe the Soul Guide Lantern exiles some of their stuff. I don't know. There's like the Phyrexian or the Scrapwork cohort. Oh, I have 2 playable spells. I guess that's enough. I do need some help from the top of my deck to cast the rest of my stuff though. But this is such a high impact card, and I just okay, well, I didn't want to draw those things. So let's play the Honor Guard. I'll just trade with the Infiltrator here. But yeah, these 2 draws were pretty miserable actually. Okay. Because now I need to draw like more lands, back-to-back 2 lands ideally. Yep, well this, I guess I can lose 1 game. Actually, I think I have won 5 games in the event out of 5 games I have played. So it's time to lose maybe a game here. I think I have the Supply Drop there or not. Just land, please. Nope. So that's already 4 draws without any land or any 2-drops. Actually, I have played 2 of my 2-drops, or the Citadel Stalwart, or the Mizar's Research Desk. So I have actually hit a very, very nasty subset of cards from my deck, because there were other live draws than just the lands. But at least this hopefully finds me a land, ideally mountain. Well, let's forget about the explosion then, that would have been pretty good here. But it's not like I can play it. I mean, I could have thought that I have to draw a mountain on the next turn, and then I could have still played the explosion. But if I draw a mountain, I can play the Chain Dancer, or something like that. Yeah, this is too much going on without me being able to do anything in the game. Well, I did play 2 2-drops and they both traded, but of course, as you can see from all the previous games I've played against this opponent, their deck is just full of 2 and 3 mana plays, so they are gonna be able to double spell on turn 4 quite easily. And there's the rivalry for the lethal attack. Is it lethal anymore now that they sacked it? No, they actually shouldn't have sacked it, because then they would have just dealt lethal. They used the acrobat to kill my guy. Alright, so with that, should I consider just playing more? I think I'm actually gonna play the Rock Hunter instead of the ward guy, because I haven't seen a lot of removal from them, and it can actually kill or block the acrobat if it flies for some reason. So there's like that. But don't think I really care about any rest of my stuff here. The Audacity could be a trick instead. Maybe I want to have it. Should it be the Tinkering? I have gotten them a couple of times with the Tinkering. So now I had a Mana Screw, so maybe now I will have a Flood, and the Tinkering is better, more impactful trick in that case. I could just have the Whirling Strike. I'm gonna have the Whirling Strike. That's the reasonable thing to do, I guess. I have expensive plays in this deck, so I don't need to, sideboard into more expensive cards, especially against a player who has so many 2-drops that they will always have potential for a good curve out. But at least I get to be on the play now. And I get some curving out. Now I have to be very careful about the precursor golem because a sibling rivalry steals all of them for a turn, that is, but they get 3 Power Stone tokens also. They actually missed their 2-drop. But they have Swamp. They don't have a mountain, and Brotherhood's End is double red. So, okay, they have no mountain whatsoever. Okay, so it's maybe my turn now to do... Oh, and I even got this thing. Okay, so if I draw just one land, I can play all my spells. And of course now I will use the Whirling Strike when they are gonna block. They could have a Disfigure, but I'm gonna not play around it. Okay, so I can still draw like my other Juggernaut, but I think after that all the spells I draw are castable. All the lands in my deck enter untapped, so there's only one bad draw in the deck, the Mithras Juggernaut. Alright, so now I'm just... I mean, I could play the Juggernaut now, but let's just go for the aggressive 2-drops here. They're gonna take so much damage here that I don't need the Golem here at all. They go to 4 now. And they can't even trade with the sprites because they can't be blocked by the artifact creatures. So there is a Mountain Brotherhood's End still a possibility, but I'm actually rather have the Juggernaut in that case. I mean, still as a thing to cast, I believe. Because if I just attacked for 4 on the previous turn, and they don't even need to block because, well, they couldn't have blocked, and I played the Juggernaut, and then they have a Brotherhood's End. Well, I guess I still have the battle. It's here and there. Which was the better one? I was also thinking that if they now actually have the Brotherhood's End, is the Golem just a pretty safe play anyway? Because if they have a sibling rivalry, yes, I take 9 damage, but they don't have a means to sacrifice all of them, and they would have only like 1 mana left after that because they play a land and a sibling rivalry, and the Golems come back to me. So if they use 4 of their 5 mana just to deal 9 damage to me and get 3 tapped Power Stone tokens, I still win with the backswing. So if they Brotherhood's End here, I would just play this and probably win after that. Okay, so that was a pretty clean run. 3-0 matches, and games were 2-0, 2-0, and 2-0, 2-0, and then it was 2-1, but the game I lost, it was me being stuck at 2 lands for too long. So, and of course the both the rares made a big impact in this game, but also the deck did work according to plan, regardless of the race. Of course, yeah, I wouldn't have won all the games I won without this race, but I do like the archetype here. So that's something I don't usually get to draft because it's maybe requires a little bit of things being open, and well, I'm not actually that sure even. Yeah, the Juggernaut is really decent. I mean, it's a card that you can get late. Then the combat tricks are pretty, interchangeable. You can have a Giant Growth, you can have a Whirling Strike, you can have a Supply Drop. So this is just, and the Aeronaut Wings is pretty important in this archetype too. You just want to have a 2-drop always, and then sizable 3-drops, and then combat tricks to push through, and Aeronaut Wings to push through, and hopefully some of these bigger hitters here, like the Juggernaut here. But yeah, that was it. I don't actually remember how many drafts I'm gonna have before the next set, but I think I will still have several of them. So I will see you in the next draft then. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.